Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu arda, Sahih Muslim, Abu Hurairah said, the shaitan of the Muslim and the shaitan of the disbeliever met. They met each other somewhere. The shaitan of the Muslim looked skinny, wearing old clothes, rusty, messy hair, very weak. The shaitan of the disbeliever in good shape, nice clothes, hairs combed, looking nice. So the shaitan of the believer, the shaitan of the disbeliever asked the Muslim, why you look like that? He said, I am with a person that when he eats, he says Bismillah. When he drinks, he says Bismillah. When he goes out of his house, he says Bismillah. When he combs his hair, he says Bismillah. So his life, I can't get close to him. So this is how I look like. I don't eat, I don't drink, I get no chance to do anything. The disbeliever said, oh, lucky me. I'm with a person, he doesn't do any of that. He eats, I eat with him. He drinks, I drink with him. We could defeat our shaitan. We could defeat it. We are stronger than the shayateen, but the problem is we are locked in the idea of magic and jinn and possession, and we can't do anything about it, and our life is in misery, and we have to go to this sheikh to read the ruqya on us, and if this sheikh told us you have nothing on you, I have to go to another person to ask him, and if that person says you have nothing, I have to go to a third person, till they find the great imam who tells them, oh yeah, you have jinn. They just want to feel good. They just want to run away from their problems. But 2 rak'ah in the middle of the night that connects you with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sufficient enough. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the straight path, inshallah. Names of jinn. Do jinn eat or drink? Yes, evidence from Quran and Sunnah. Where do the jinn live? Everywhere. Everywhere. Mainly, they live in areas where no one is a resident, or they live in areas where there is filth, like garbage. The only ones that we know of that lives in the depths of ocean are the ones whom Sulaiman alayhi salam have logged. Sulaiman have logged some of the jinn in the depth of the ocean. Other than that, they're all over the place. But they have no power to harm you, even though they might be living very close to you, unless they go through the cycle of magic that we're going to speak about. So no one should fear the shaitan. They live in holes. So be very careful of these areas. When you enter the bathroom, say Bismillah, A'udhu billahi min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith. That's all you need. The Prophet ﷺ said, Hadihi, this, meaning this dua, is a shield between you and the eyes of the jinn. They can't see you. Thus, you're protected. Very simple. What is their power? They can't do except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them. They don't have power to do anything except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them. Can jinn transform? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let me tell you something. And just understand that. Saying yes is correct, but is missing information. The jinn has no power to transform unless they use magic spell to transform into other objects. And if they do transform into other objects, they become limited to that object. Meaning what? The Prophet ﷺ says, Al-Hayyat, like snakes, they were jinn. So a jinn could transform into snake. Black dog is a jinn, as the Prophet ﷺ says. The Prophet ﷺ said, Abu Hurairah saw a jinn in a human form. You can't see a jinn in their actual form. So they do transform. قال عمر رضي الله عنه أرضاه, but they cannot transform into other objects unless they use certain wordings or magic spells. And Ibn Asakir said the same thing, and Ibn Kathir said the same thing, and Ibn Taymiyyah said the same thing. They will not be able to transform unless they use certain wordings, like they say something to transform. But they don't have the power to just transform while they're standing in front of you. You won't see a snake and the snake turns into a rat and the rat turns into a dog and the dog. It doesn't happen like that. Why is that important? Because the idea of harming a jinn or even killing a jinn has to be understood through that. If the Prophet ﷺ said the Sahabi killed a jinn, why didn't the jinn run away? Why didn't the jinn disappear? Didn't he saw the sword coming? But because he was locked into the object or the new object that he's in, now he needs to say something else. I don't know what you watch here, but how many of you watch Disney or their children watch Disney movies? Oh, mashallah, alhamdulillah, no Disney movies. Okay. Anyway, if you do and you want to raise your hand, okay, jazakallah khair for being honest. Any Disney movie usually have magic. Most of it has magic in there. They sometimes say things and things change, right? These wordings are true, by the way. And I tell people, and I'm doing my PhD on magic and stuff like that. I'm working on Disney movies right now. Most of these magic word or magic spell, they got it from a magician. So I don't know who writes the script for most of Disney movies. For them to say so and so, or to use this terminology or these wordings, they do transform them. So their only way to transform is through magic wording or a spell that needs to be understood or says. Do the jinn have religion? Just like you, just like humans. Al-Imam Al-A'mash was asked, someone asked him, do you know if the jinn has like sects and groups? He said yes. They said, how do you know? He said, I asked the jinn. They said, what did he say? He said, the worst of the jinn are the Shias. No, seriously, this is not. He says, among us, the worst sect are the Shia. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, وَأَنَّا مِنَّا الْمُسْلِمُونَ وَمِنَّا دُونَ ذَلِكَ كُنَّا طَرَائِقَ قِيدَةً. Allah said, we have believers. That's what the jinn said in Surah قُلْ أُحِيَّ. Allah said what the jinn have spoken to Rasulullah. We have believers and we have طَرَائِقَ. We have so many sects. Just like us. Believers, Muslims, Christians, Jews, atheists, Sunni, Shia, Sufi, whatever, Jinni. I usually use that. Will the jinn enter paradise or hellfire? Yes, they will, because of the ayat in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَمْ يَطْمِثُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَانٌ. I'm going to go through the evidence because of the timing. Do jinn know the future? No. No. What do they know is what they hear from the news. The Prophet ﷺ was sent, and after 12 days of Rasulullah's bi'atha, the jinn used to stand, as Rasulullah said in the hadith Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he said the jinn would stand on each other like this. So one on the top of another. And they would hear the news when Allah commands the angels to do something. It's heard in the first heaven. So the jinn would hear it and they would run back to the magician and they will tell him, if so-and-so travel, this is going to happen to him. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, if they tell you the truth once, then the magician will add 100 lies to it. So they don't know the future. Do they know the past? They don't know the past. They know the past through your qareen. So if somebody lost their wallet somewhere, and a person tells you, oh mashallah brother, if you come to me and I will read this surah on you or this ayat, I could tell you where your wallet is. Yes, they can. Because this is something that happened already and someone witnessed it. Either you or your qareen or someone else. So it was seen, but not the future. Why? Because the only one who knows the future is Allah.